Not a week goes by where I don't hear someone complaining that it's impossible to find Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon for a fair price. That is just wrong, and it's one reason why I wrote Napa Valley Decoded. There are many Napa Valley wines that deliver incredible quality without a triple-digit price tag. You just need to know where to look. So in this book, I identified 24 Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignons that over-deliver each and every vintage at between $40 and $75 per bottle. Even if you find only one or two of these wines that you enjoy, this book will pay for itself several times over. If you have any favorite Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignons that sell for between $40 and $75 per bottle, please let us know in the comments below. I want to thank everyone who's purchased the book already. The launch has been absolutely wild. Within the first 28 hours after the book was launched, it became a #1 bestseller. I'll get into some of the early accolades later, but first I want to give you some more insights regarding the book. This book is essentially the resource that I wish I had when I was trying to learn more about Napa Valley. It distills much of what I've learned over the past 20 years into a single resource. Many Napa Valley books, and in fact many wine books generally, are little more than compilations of wineries or long lists of wines with tasting notes and a couple comments about each wine. I was not interested in doing that sort of book, and this book is completely different. This book is much like my videos in that I try to be clear, analytical, and practical. It's focused on helping you understand the why, not just the what. This book is a comprehensive resource, and portions of it will benefit pretty much everyone who wants to learn more about Napa Valley. So regardless of whether you're a consumer who wants to buy Napa Valley wines more effectively, an experienced wine collector who wants to drill deeper into some back vintages or into a particular AVA, a wine student studying for a certification exam, or just someone who wants to visit Napa Valley for the first time and make the most of their visit, this book is going to be extremely helpful for you. Some of the areas of the book that I think will be most helpful to people include sections on tasting and evaluating Napa Valley wines, as well as the various types of Napa Valley wine styles. Taken together, these sections will help each of you better understand your personal palate and the style of Napa Valley wines that suits your personal preferences. In turn, this will help you to make more informed purchasing decisions going forward. I've been enjoying Napa Valley wines for many years, and before I used to think that I was Napa savvy just because I appreciated the distinction between mountain fruit and valley fruit. While that's certainly a good start, it turns out it's much more complicated than that. There's an amazing 17 different nested AVAs within Napa Valley, and each of them has incredible complexity. For example, even within just one of the AVAs, such as Oakville for example, you could have major stylistic differences in the wine just depending on where the fruit came from within the Oakville AVA. While we're on the subject of Oakville, certainly Oakville and some other more prominent AVAs get a lot of the attention, but another reason I thought it was important to cover all the AVAs comprehensively is because there's a number of them that fly under the radar and should be explored by people in more detail. So one of the most important sections of the entire book, and one of the sections that I'm most proud of, is the analysis of each of the 17 AVAs in Napa Valley. This is not just a high-level overview of basic facts, although it has that as well, but it goes deeper than that, and it talks about why each of the AVAs is unique, some of the grapes that perform best in each AVA, and what you can expect in terms of the style from each of the AVAs and the wines that they produce. Significantly for wine collectors, I have sections for each and every AVA entitled Collector's Edge and Pricing Reality and Buying Context. These sections contain some insights that will be extremely invaluable for wine collectors. In addition to discussing all the existing sub-AVAs of Napa Valley, I also talk about some pending or potential AVAs, as well as the prestigious Pritchard Hill area, which oftentimes gets overlooked just because it's not an official AVA, but which is one of the most important areas of Napa Valley for wine collectors. Another area that I think will benefit wine collectors is Appendix B, which contains my analysis and evaluation of each of the vintages in Napa Valley from 2000 through 2025. In this appendix, I include my thoughts regarding which of these vintages are showing best today, as well as some that offer the best value in the secondary market. Napa Valley Decoded also gets into some history about Napa Valley, but primarily the relevant history for the past 50 years or so, including the Judgment of Paris and the rise of cult wines and the impact that cult wines had on Napa Valley's reputation, culture, and pricing. And speaking of pricing, I know that many of you are absolutely befuddled about the cost of Napa Valley wines. So there's also a chapter in which I do a deep dive into the costs for Napa Valley wines and discuss the various cost components that go into each of the wines. I also discuss buying Napa Valley wines both in restaurants and in the secondary market, as well as from wineries directly. There are also chapters on understanding Napa Valley wine labels, Napa Valley's sustainability efforts, and perhaps most importantly for many of you, on how to visit Napa Valley most effectively. I've visited Napa Valley probably 15 to 20 times over the years, and there's many things that I've learned the hard way. So in that chapter, I try to give you as many of the tips as I can to make your visit go as smoothly as possible. This was the first book that I authored, so I wasn't quite sure what to expect. But I've been absolutely overwhelmed and humbled by the response. Within 28 hours after this book was approved for release by Amazon, it had already achieved #1 bestseller status in the wine guide category. A short time later, it also hit #1 in the wine collecting category. Perhaps more significantly, it's also recognized as the #1 new release and the #3 bestseller in the extremely broad wine category that's dominated by very experienced and well-known authors. So certainly it's been both competing and doing quite well against some formidable competition. Just to put a number on it, this book is actually performing so far in the top 0.08% of the more than 12 million titles available on Amazon. I know many people will probably start wondering if I have any other books in the works, and it's definitely something that I'm thinking about. If there's another topic that you'd like me to consider writing about in the future, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much to all of you who have encouraged me to write a book over the years. I finally took your advice, and I'm very glad that I did. Thank you, too, to all of you who have supported the book and purchased a copy already. And for those of you who are interested in checking it out, there's a link to the book in the description so you can find out more information, including whether you'd like to purchase a copy for yourself. Also, if you do read the book, I would love to hear your thoughts. Amazon reviews are critical for small books like this one, so that would mean a lot if you decide to let me know in the Amazon reviews section. And if you'd like to learn more about some of my favorite Napa Valley wines from the last time that I visited Napa Valley, be sure to check out this video that's linked above.